Hello runlings. So I'm back out again. I'm in a place that I've been a couple of times before, so nothing new I'm afraid, but I did go out and recce a couple of places before today came. I knew I was coming tonight. I did recce a couple of places, but I wasn't really happy with them, and that's all I had time to do, so I've had to come back. Well, I say had to, I thought to myself, I'll pick somewhere. I'm going to go back to somewhere I know. So I'll pick one that's my favourite place so far. So I'm back here in a spot I really like. So it's not all bad. I wanted to bring something new. Mud. I wanted to bring something new. Can't do that yet because I haven't found anywhere. But I really like it, so it's not all bad. Later on this evening, for my dinner, I'm using the Ridge Monkey. I'm going to attempt a cheese and beans toasted sandwich. Quite simple, but I can imagine I'm going to make a right old mess with the beans. That'd be fun. That's something you should look forward to seeing, because I haven't practiced this or anything, so I've no idea how it's going to go. Pouring beans into a tiny little toaster. I don't even know if the bread fits. I haven't tried anything. That's half the fun of it, finding out all that. I'm not fully confident in myself, so I bought another meal in case it all just goes. So that's something to look forward to later on. All set up. Didn't bring my I didn't bring a lot of things. I'm always doing this. I didn't bring my waterproofs, and well, according to the weather report, it's supposed to be raining now. 5 to 6 it is now. I didn't bring my waterproofs, so, and also didn't bring my power bank with me. I've got 80% on my phone, so it's a fairly new phone, so the batteries last really well. I've been bringing my power bank with me and never been using it, bar once when I knew I had like 20% on it and I had to use it then. But generally speaking, all my other camps, I don't think I've used my power bank. It's just a sort of backup really, so it should be alright. If it ends abruptly and I've got just enough time to go bye, then apologies, but I think I'll be okay. But as for the wet, good job I've got the bobcat, because I can just retreat inside and do everything I need to do in there. Not as nice, it's all about being outdoors, but what choice you got, especially when you don't have waterproofs. If I had the Fox 1, then I'd be stuffed. I wouldn't, yeah. but this little baby takes the worries of being a pillock and not bringing your waterproofs with you away. So I'm absolutely starving, so I'm going to do the toasted sandwich now. I haven't already cooked it. I'm not going to use all these beans. In fact, I'm going to use hardly any of them. I couldn't resist. I could quite happily sit down with a tin of cold beans and so I couldn't resist. So what I've done is, I've never tried this before on the Ridge Monkey. I'm not sure how this is going to go. So I've buttered the bread already. I didn't want to mess about with that here. I'll put a bit of oil in between it because I can envisage transporting the bread buttered, and then it sticks to the bread and the bread falls to pieces, because I assumed that a bit of foil in between would make it easier to peel it off. I can't put them outside, then it would stick to the bag, so I've got to put them facing each other, and then I've had it before where I've tried to peel them apart and then the bread's just fallen to pieces. So I've buttered the bread to grease the outside of the Ridge Monkey. So the bread is, the butter's not for the inside, it's for the exterior, so that greases the inside and hopefully browns it off nicely, if this works. And then I pre-cut some cheese, and I'll stick that in there as well. So I've tried to get this to balance. For some reason it won't balance on the stove. When I cooked the burger, it balanced on the stove all right. What's changed? It's so weird. So I'm gonna have to hold on to the thing. Right, so I'm just gonna pause that. Right, so one slice of bread, butter side down. Oh, and it fits. Yeah, in my head, the Ridge Monkey was so small that I was worried the bread wouldn't even fit in. Rubbish. So here's the tricky part. Oh, it stays on there. Marvellous. That must counterbalance it. Right, so where's my spoon? So I was unsure whether to heat the Ridge Monkey up first before I did this. For no particular reason, I decided not to. Spread the beans over the bread. I don't know what accent that is. I thought it felt a bit more chefy. If I put on some funny accent, so I can and then the bits of cheese. I don't want to go into the edge. I don't know how well it's going to seal it. It kind of looks a bit empty of beans. So I should spread the beans over the top some more. That's going to make it too big, isn't it? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I just realised I was out of shot. So concentrating on what I was doing. Right. And then, oh, it doesn't now. I reckon the floor's uneven because I moved the stove a bit. It won't actually seal it like a proper toaster, sandwich toaster. We pull it down and it's not going to seal it. So this could end up being a bit of a mess. But I did say that. I was expecting that. I am expecting a bit of a mess. Even more so now I realise the bread isn't going to actually be compressed together and sealed, although it says it's a sandwich toaster. Not sure how well you can call it that, but you know. Cold beans, I just can't resist. Now, it'd be best to flip it, wouldn't it? So that I toast both sides. But all the beans are going to come out. You know, when you think about something and it seems fairly straightforward, when you're doing it, you can think of all these things and you think, what if this? And oh, what about that? And it seems like a bad idea all of a sudden. I'm going to have a go at flipping it. I can hear it cooking away. So, scary. But I'm starting to think that it's going to start, beans are going to be spilling out everywhere. I thought the bread was a lot bigger than that, or the ridge monkey was smaller, whichever way you want to look at it. So I thought it would compress it more, to make it more sealed, but it's not going to do that, obviously, because the bread's so small. So I don't know how this is going to come out. I won't be able to pick it up like a sandwich. I was hoping that I could pick it up like a sandwich, but I don't think that's going to happen. So it might end up being less of a toasted sandwich and more of a cheese on toast. Cheese and beans on toast. But hey, I like it either way. I'll get back to you on that and see how we get later and see how it gets on. So, little bit burnt. Hoo-yah! That's not too bad. So it's cooking nicely, and it's browning around the edge, and not a single bean spill. I've had a second thought, thinking that actually the cheese might have melted and bound all the beans together, because it's not all spilling out over the sides. So the cheese might have ended up as a sort of a bonding material to keep all the beans together, because as you can see, there's no spillage at all. But I'm not going to be able to pick it up. I'm not going to be able to pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Not without the beans going like everywhere, because it hasn't sealed it. It's cooking it nicely, it's toasting it nicely, but it hasn't sealed it. And I thought it would. Well, I think it's done. It's burnt a little bit in the middle, but I had to kind of keep it on a little bit extra to try and get these outside bits done. It definitely isn't sealed, so I'm not going to be able to pick it up like a sandwich, I mean. If I cut it in half, it's going to sort of spit out the middle. And I didn't bring a plate, so this is going to have to be my plate. Great, now I don't know what to do with that. It's boiling in a hot. Anyway, I put it's going to melt something. So, how do I tackle it is the thing. Oh, it's stiff. Oh, it's stiff. Ah, bean is spilling, bean. It's spilling. Oh, oh, yeah, you can't see. I'm so intense on... it's hot, but it's stiff, so I can pick it up. Well, that hasn't sealed, but I can see bean coming out. Bean juice. So, I'm going to check the floor. I'm going to spin around. So I span around, because bean juice is pouring out of it now. I span around because I know it's all going to start pouring out over the floor. So I didn't want to do that right outside the tent, so I just span around a bit so it can all, knowing it's going to make a mess, all the juice. That looks nice though. Hey, all the bean juice is coming out and the cheese is coming out. But it's messy, but it's one of those things that it's messy, but it's gorgeous. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't try and eat. Look at that. Cheese and beans. Oh man. Why is it all coming out now? When I first took it out, it was fine. So why is it coming out after the fact? Because I've bought my wet wipes. But it tastes amazing. Oh, I'm making such a mess. Right, you don't want to see this kind of mess. You saw what happened. You saw the results. I don't understand why it was absolutely perfectly fine by the time it was boiling hot, and then after I took it out, it starts to melt and will pour out of it. I don't understand the deal there. But it tastes lovely. I'm going to get on with it before it all starts to fall out and I don't get any of it. I've beamed on the floor. What I wasn't thinking of till obviously afterwards is that that might attract some unwanted animals tonight. I hadn't thought of that, but it's not something I can sort of scoop up and put somewhere else because it's lots of beans. It depends what way you look at it. It was successful and it was unsuccessful because it tasted lovely. It was really nice and crispy, the bread, and the beans were, well, beans were beans, but the beans and cheese together was really nice. Don't understand why it didn't spill out when I picked it up, and then and even though I was holding it level, it then just decided after to start to pour out. If it's cooled down, surely it would be less runny. I don't know. So it did start to pour out, so I was like, quickly trying to get it in before it all just ended up on the floor. And I made a right old mess. It was around my gob and over my hands, and lucky I got a big pile of wet wipes to clean everything with. But you know, there were issues, but it was lovely, and I think it was a success because it tasted nice, and that's kind of all you want in it. I was having a chuckle while I was eating it. I don't know if you do that. For no reason, just things pop in my head. Not particularly thinking about anything, something just goes bing into my head. And the chuckle today was, I was in my car on the way up here and James Blunt came on the radio. I'm not a fan, so I don't know what song it was, but where I work they have the radio on all the time and I hear that song fairly regularly. And big air raid going on, and there's a song that he sings that always makes me chuckles, where he I don't know what song it is, but he says he has a semi by the sea. I've had quite a few of those myself. Must be the fresh air. So I've had a cup of tea and I've contemplated life, and in the meantime it's got really dark, so I'm just going to watch a programme until it's bedtime, and then obviously go to bed. So I'll get back to you later on. Tucked up in bed, brush my teeth, ready to go. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I don't know how well you can hear it, but it's raining. It's been raining all night long. I haven't got my waterproofs, so I'm going to get wet getting home. It's a lovely sound though, lying there listening to it on the tent, the sound of the rain. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey home. I'm gonna get the coffee on. That's it, all packed up and ready to go. L&T. So yeah, the rain's eased off a bit now, so it shouldn't be so unpleasant to walk home. Obviously everything's soaking wet, I'm going to have to dry it out when I get home. And that's just it. That's it for this evening. I didn't have any breakfast. Some mornings, especially when it's early in the morning, sometimes I wake up thinking, oh yeah, I've got to have something. And some days I just don't fancy it. And this morning I just woke up and went, don't fancy it. Had my coffee, but I just didn't fancy the breakfast. So I packed up and I'm ready to go. And I slap all my rucksack on and stuff, and then I'll be off. So that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Despite the rain, despite the rain, I actually really love sitting in the tent looking out at the rain. It's lovely, and I slept really well because the rain's a lovely sound to go to sleep to. So from that point of view, I really enjoyed it. So rain doesn't bother me. So if you got to the end, that's great. I'm glad you managed to come on this journey with me, and I hope you're ready for the next one. So if you're interested in more videos, they'll be here somewhere, not sure where. And obviously always, if you can, I would love it if you could subscribe, because I'm a small channel and I'd like to go that way, because then it will allow me to continue to do more. Great. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.